So what is the next thing that Matt Hinkamp cooks?
Jerk chicken.
Ah, dude, that would have been gold to write a bit about. I could have done so much with being a jerk to you and stuff.
Yeah, well, I already know I want to make it. I hope you're not too chicken.
This script sucks, dude.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Look, why don't we just start over?
Guys, has anyone seen my whole pet chicken? Jerk chicken belongs among the world's greatest dishes. It's spicy, it's savory, it's charry, and it's a celebration of flavors from a part of the world that grows and serves amazing food, the Caribbean. So I'll show you how I make jerk chicken at home along with a couple of sort of traditional sides. To get started, I'm using a whole chicken because I have it in my freezer and it's probably the most cost-effective way to make this dish. I just think eating this off the bone enhances the experience and just makes it taste better somehow. So I'm going to attempt another butcher job on this chicken. I did one earlier for my pozole video, and honestly that one was better than this one, but oh well. I start by pulling the wings out and then just slicing with my carving knife until I get to a bone. I try not to cut through the bone, I try to go to the joint where the bones are separated. So you just try to rotate things around and find that connection point and cut through it. Then all you should have to do is cut through the skin to release the wing. I do the same for the other wing and then I move on to the leg quarters. It's a similar process. You cut in around the thigh area and just go until you feel that joint. You just try to do these gentle slicing motions so you're not cutting through meat but just the skin. And for the legs, once you get to that joint, you have to kind of twist it out until the bone pokes out, and then at that point you can just cut through the skin underneath and release it. These just took me a while even though I've done this before because it's still kind of confusing to me. Biology was my worst subject in high school after all. And then from there I just grab my garbage kitchen shears and try to cut the backbone off. You're going to cut through bone the whole time, but just try to stick to the main spine so you're not going too far towards the breast. And if you have good shears, then this won't be a problem. And then lastly is the hardest part in my opinion, that's separating the breasts. First, I just try to press down on the chest bone to make it crack, I think. And then I just try to run my knife down from the tip of the breast to separate them. But every time I do this, the bone is so fused together that I think I'm just cutting through solid bone. It just doesn't feel right, but I just keep going until I get to the bottom and finally separate them. I don't know, they kind of look even. They look more even at least than in my pozole video. But we can add all these besides the spine to a casserole dish where I'm going to marinate them. I'm going to start this off by toasting up a few of my whole spices. The only one that I think is traditional here and necessary is allspice berries. You can use ground allspice if you can't find these. I'm doing a handful of those along with a handful of coriander seeds and then a handful of black peppercorns. I don't think the latter two are necessarily necessary, but I'm throwing them in because I have them. So I toast them over medium heat for a few minutes until their aroma comes out, and at this point, past me would dump this into my molcajete and pound this into a powder, but the non-broke boy version of myself has a spice grinder now, so I'm dumping it into there. I'm also grating in a little bit of fresh nutmeg because I like that flavor as well. That gets whizzed up until it's a fine powder. It smells amazing with all the allspice. For the wet marinade, it's supposed to start with 4 Scotch bonnet peppers, but I've never seen those in my entire life and I don't even know where they'd be sold. So I'm just using 4 habañeros, which are almost identical, and now that we know traditions out the window, the rest doesn't matter. I roughly chop those up and add them to my food processor. I'm keeping the ribs and seeds in because I don't think it overpowers this with spice. I'm also adding a whole yellow onion that's roughly chopped, 3 green onions that are also roughly chopped, 4 to 6 cloves of buttless garlic, and a 1-inch knob of ginger cut into a few smaller pieces. Then maybe like 6 to 8 sprigs of thyme that you strip the leaves off of. Sometimes I get a lot more firm thyme, which is much easier to strip the leaves from. This is like wilty, really fresh stuff that's hard to peel. I don't know, are those different species or something? Then 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, which I'm using dark brown sugar, maybe around 10 grams or a teaspoon and a half of salt, a half cup of any olive oil, and finally the zest off of 1 lime and the juice of 2 limes. Process that until it's a marinade. First, I'll sprinkle the dry spice rub over the chicken, and then I'll go in with the wet marinade. I flip the chicken to make sure both sides are coated, and then I cover this in plastic wrap and leave it in the fridge overnight. I think 4 hours is probably the minimum here, and I think the most authentic way to make this is over a charcoal grill. At the very least, I think you need a gas grill to get the results from this that you're looking for. This could probably be done roasting them in the oven if you have no other choice, but I just don't think that comes even close. There's probably tutorials out there for it though, but what I'm going to do with my Big Joe charcoal grill is start with my existing briquettes from the last cook. Then I bought some lump charcoal because it lights fast and hot, so I'm adding some of that. Normally I get this started with my chimney, but I finally got my hands on one of these grill torches. I don't think I'm the most masculine guy out there, but there's just something powerful feeling about this. And within minutes, all my charcoals are lit, so I close the empty dome to let it heat up. And after about 10 minutes, I'm adding some cherry wood chips that I have. Pimento wood is the authentic wood for smoking jerk chicken. It comes from the same plant that makes allspice berries, but it's also almost impossible to find, so some people suggest using apple or cherry or mesquite. I don't think it's a huge deal because we're not smoking this for hours, it's just going to impart a little more flavor. But I'm going to build my grill setup. I'm using one heat deflector and then just adding the grates over top of that. That's going to give me a direct and indirect side to cook the chicken. I close all that up with the vents wide open to let the equipment heat up. And after 10 more minutes, my grill is saying it's between 500 and 600 degrees, so that's good. I'm loading in all my chicken pieces on the direct side with the presentation side down. That's the skin side down, so that will look its prettiest when it's done. And then my process for searing this is to let this go for 2 minutes like this, and then I'll come in and give everything a quarter turn, but keep it on that same side just to get those crosshatch grill marks. 2 more minutes, then I'll flip everything, and you'll notice there's some burning going on. Some of it's beautiful charring, but some of it went a little too far, but that's not a huge deal. There's so much meat inside to account for the little bit of burning there is. But anyway, 2 more minutes like this, and then another quarter turn, and 2 final minutes. For me, that's enough searing, but this meat isn't anywhere close to done, so I'm moving all this to the indirect side. The heat deflector will prevent the flames from licking up and burning the chicken even more. Now it's just going to bake kind of like in an oven. I just come in every few minutes and rearrange the chicken because whatever's sitting closest to the direct side is going to cook more. And I'm using an instant read thermometer to keep up with the temperature. I try to pull the breasts at around 155 Fahrenheit and everything else at around 175 Fahrenheit. The wings will probably finish before anything else because they're smaller. And even though my breasts were pulled at the lowest temperature, they took the longest because they were so massive. I think it took about 8 minutes of searing and then like 25 minutes of roasting to be done, but these came out looking super juicy and beautiful. There's nothing left to do at this point but to serve these up. I just made some mac and cheese, which was not using traditional Caribbean recipes. I just used my Thanksgiving recipe, which you can find the video up here. And then I also fried some plantains, which is really simple. I just cut up a ripe plantain into some chunks and then dipped it into some 350 oil until they were charred. Rice and peas would be another traditional side here. But the star of the show is absolutely this jerk chicken. You can tell that marinade worked its way in. The meat comes out super tender and the skin is really nice and crispy. And I just love the combination of all the sweet tropical flavors that were involved in this. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for the taste test.
I'm so excited. I've been waiting all day for this. Nothing like putting in a lot of work and getting to that reward at the end. I mean, Jamaican food and all Caribbean food for that matter is just so full of deep flavor. I just really love every variation of all the foods I've tried from that region. I think the best bite of a whole chicken comes from the leg quarter, so I'm gonna start with that. Cheers. That's an experience. I don't know if you can see, but this stuff is so juicy. The marinade just seeped into the whole chicken and that flavor combo is beautiful. The perfect amount of spice from the peppers and just everything else you put in there. I love this stuff so much. And I think the skin is the best part. It has most of the flavor because it kept all the stuff that can't get absorbed into the meat. Just a masterpiece, but let's eat this other stuff too. Not really traditional Caribbean mac and cheese, but that's okay. I love this recipe, it hits every time. And who could forget the fried sweet plantains? Those are always gonna taste good. Gotta get a bite of the wing before we get off of here. Yeah, that's some good stuff. I so rarely make whole chicken recipes and I don't know why because it's really worth it. It's cost effective and having the bones be part of the equation makes all the difference. This one's definitely worth sharing, a classic recipe for a reason. But that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you all for watching, be blessed, and I'll see you next time. Oh my goodness. Let's do this again sometime, Jamaica.